Good evening, and bienvenue, my fond fair rouge raiders. This is your humble narrator, Diomedes Rouge, here to bring you, well, what if Deku was raised by the Volgana family? Part 2. Now, those of you who are new to this channel, well, I apologize. You can find the original one in my possible What If series. But this one has gotten some love recently from a few different people. And, well, I did promise them that I would make another. And, as a humble narrator, I'm bound by my word. So, allow me to continue doing so. And to be honest, I do like this series. I've been thinking about it for a while, too. Now, where we last left off, Izuku, or rather I should say, Izuku Todoroki, is no more. He gave up that name. And yes, I do mean Izuku Todoroki. If you have questions, look up the first part. He chose to give up that name, and instead took up the name Giornio Volgana, given to him, well, by the head of the Volgana household. And now we are going to have a time skip. A time skip of, well, a couple of years. During said instance, he's gotten more accustomed to life there. Being a part of his, well, getting used to calling his new family Ma, Pa, sister. You know, grandmother, grandfather. Getting accustomed to the Volgana lifestyle of eat, sleep, work, train, and business. And then repeat. As he wakes up one day about to get ready to enter his last day of elementary school, he adjusts his back to hear several satisfying pops go along his spine. Oh, man. This day's gonna be good. Ah. Damn. Hands still hurt. Where are my gloves? Ah, there they are. As he puts them on and instantly begins feeling a lot better. If you're curious about why his hands hurt, look up part 1. A brief summarization, well, he was Shoto's brother, and Shoto doesn't have a burn mark on his face. So, naturally, someone got burnt. I wonder who it was. Anyways, man, much better. Now, I wonder what Ma's got cooking for breakfast. That smells good, whatever it is. As he exits his door and, well, proceeds to go bang on his sister's door. Angie, wake up! Alright, 5 more minutes. If you say 5 more minutes, that means 10 more hours. Wake up! Okay, quit banging on the door, you little... as she gets up and swings the door open and, well, sis! Dadgummit, I said wake up, not wake up and swing the door open without getting dressed, you moron. Jeez. Oh, calm down, we're siblings. Technically speaking, yes, but at the same point in time, don't do that. You're gonna do that as he goes darting off into the kitchen. Ma, sis is being a perv again. I am not, you little liar. And she just chuckles at his reaction and tosses on some clothing. Well, you asked me to wake up, you little shit. And with that, well, Father Dearest comes down through. Are you teasing? Are you teasing Geo again? Ah, you know I got to. After all, if he is gonna bang on my door like that, the least I can do is make him red as a tomato. You do realize that he was the one that saved you, right? When you were both relatively little. Yes, yes, I know. He's a couple years younger than me. I get it. But at the same point in time, if he's gonna bother me while I'm sleeping, he deserves to get punished. Are you sure it's a punishment, or are you just trying to make him react? What? What do you... Oh, nothing, little one, nothing. Well, of course, you better be careful. What do you mean? Well, simple. While you may have the home field advantage, you gotta remember he only thinks of you as a sister. Which means, well, if he gets interested in someone else, you steadily lose any type of traction you have. And you will be at the disadvantage. But, you know, that's only if you liked him like that. Which I highly doubt you do, right? Right. Huh. Well, there you go. In that case, it's just Dad talking out his ass again. Don't tell your mother I said that. As Izuku's the first one to get to the dinner table, well, technically dining room table, so yes. Hey, Ma, what's for lunch? Or breakfast in this case. You can only think about lunch, can't you, Izuku? You make the best ones! I mean, it's kinda cool to show up to school and your ma's already made you a full-on meal ready to go. I mean, if it's amazing. Izuku, yeah, Ma? What am I gonna do with you? Spoil me? Oh, you're so adorable, you little... She begins pinching his cheeks like crazy, like, okay, ow, 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 ow. I don't need more markings on my body, dadgummit. Now, you know better to bring that up. Sorry, Ma, but still, that hurts. My cheeks are not made of elastic. I do not have that quirk. At most, I can make fire. Aw, you're so adorable when you're flustered. Wait. Did Angie... yeah, I told you she was being a perv again. What'd she do? I knocked on her door until she was forced to wake up, and then she flashed me. She flashed you. Yeah. Oh boy. Well, time to watch the fireworks. As Ma takes off and, well, Izuku, well, he begins to divvy up what's there to everyone who's going to show up. Steak and eggs, hash browns, ooh, tomatoes. I like this. And a little bit of olive oil vinaigrette. Ooh. This is a damn good breakfast. As, well, he digs into his while sitting there. As Pop comes down in there going, well, glad to see you have no reservations about eating anymore. Oh, come on, Dad. It's been years since I was. Yes, yes, I know. And to be honest, it was the food that got you to stop being so shy to begin with. Dad, quit rubbing it in. Ah, Jovo, you know I care about you. And as someone who cares about you, I have to rib you every once in a while. As they begin to hear loud crashing, bashing, and several sounds of fire going off upstairs. You told your mother what happened between you and your sister, didn't you? Oh, yeah. You know she probably didn't do that on purpose, right? Hey, it's her fault for swinging the door open whenever she hears someone banging on it. I mean, if she starts doing that in high school or college, if she gets a dorm on her own, boy, will she be surprised. Oh, are you thinking about her trying to... No, Dad, I'm not. I'm just saying she needs to be more careful. Uh-huh. You know, even though you're technically my son, you're still technically not related to her by blood. I mean, if you two get along that well, Dad, ew, no. Bad, Dad, bad. Ugh, that almost ruined my appetite. Sure, sure. Anyways, heat up. I know you have that test at school today. And, be ready. For what? Oh, one of my assistants, Goku Dara III, his nephew is coming to visit today. Apparently he needs some discipline. Goku Dara the Third. Wait a minute. Isn't he the guy that blows things up constantly? And whenever you two get into an argument, he always somehow pulls sticks of dynamite out of somewhere? Well, that's just his basic features. Believe me, he's a lot more tame once you get to know him. He just has an explosive temperament. Uh huh. And he is going to be disciplining someone? Oh, God. I can only imagine how terrifying that would be. Oh, believe me, you and me both. You and me both. Okay. I'll bite. Who is it? Apparently his, sister. He told me her name. Mitsuki, that's it. Mitsuki Bakugo. She, denounced the family name and such, marrying some sort of artist. I don't know. Basically, she dropped herself out of family fortune, but she still talks with her brother quite often and, is apparently having some hard times handling a problem child of her, a Katsuki Bakugo. He's apparently very wild, rambunctious, and a bit of a bully, from what he told me. As soon as he heard bully, he instantly arranged a trip to the States to straighten him out, so to speak. Oh. Well, I mean, it is almost summer. We have about, what, one more day left, and boom, I get vacation. Yep. Which means I'm going to be put through hell again. Yep. Oh boy, I like school. Oh, I know you do. It's the only thing that gave you a reprieve from all the training lessons we had to start pounding into your head. Dad, why would I ever need to learn French, German, Russian, as well as all those other lessons? Well, for one, we have connections with in France, Germany, Russia, Singapore, Taiwan, China, as well as Japan, as you well know. In addition to that, we also have quite a few different details that could be, well, overlooked if not properly trained into your little brain. And as your father, it is my obligation to mold your little mind into something fierce, deadly, as well as refined. I believe you sometimes say those strange things in order so I don't question it whenever you start throwing giant fireballs at me. Damn right. Ma, Dad's wanting to throw fireballs at me. You little shit. Boom. Honey, 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 that was a joke between us. He said he was going to. Oh, crap. Izuku, you're evil. Yeah. As now he's being chased around the house as Angie, his sister, can come down to eat. You really like playing the Maw card sometimes, don't you? Well, to be fair, it is a quite fun card to play. Not to mention the sheer fact that, well, y'all do deserve it on occasion, especially after all the BS you guys put me through. Whatever. Angie, now dressed in a frilly shirt and, well, frilly outfit, goes, You would not believe what she did to me. Oh, I can see what she did to you. She made you look like such a little lady. And it's like, I am going to murder you. Oh, are you now? Remember, I'm a lot stronger than I was a few years ago. And, last I checked, you still couldn't really beat me then. Oh, are you challenging me there, boy? I don't know, girl. Do you think you can handle my output? I'm glad we adopted you. So am I. I wouldn't have all this amazing food otherwise. As he begins to dig in even more and more, as time progresses and, well, the carnage ensues around the house. After school, Izuku's able to head home. And, oh, I am so glad. Ma's lunch was delicious. Ah, eggplant parmesan. Always so good. Now, what on earth is going to happen today? As soon as he enters, he hears several loud explosions, and he goes, I do not like where this is going. Pardon me? I do not like where this is going. As he ignites his gauntlets and walks in, he goes, Ma? Dad? Is everything okay? He just, Get off me, you shitty bastards! I'm gonna blow you all to pieces! Get the hell off me! Shut the hell up, you little twerp. You really think you're gonna be able to beat me? I'm the king of exploding things. You think you're the king? I'll beat the crap out of you, you shitty old man! You think you can try? Bring it, you little punk! As more explosions begin to ensue. He goes, What the hell is going on? As, well, then Angie comes running to him like, Izuku, you're not gonna... I told you, you can't call me that anymore, remember? You know you're not really comfortable with Giornio yet. I'm more than comfortable enough in our own household, okay? Just, Jovo will do. Fine. Jovo, you gotta come see this. It's the new guy. The new guy? The one from Uncle Gokudara? Wait, uncle, you have to remember you're part of a mafia. Your family is a part of the mafia, so everyone's kind of an uncle or aunt, cousin, stuff like that. It's literally a family. Oh, wait, or does that mean they're actual? No, you idiot. Just come on. She drags him along, and he sees the blonde, spiky-haired boy with, well, sparks igniting from his hands, going off against, well, a pale-haired individual with a three-piece suit who's got some sort of strange gauntlet on his arm. I am going to blast the ever-loving hell out of you, you shitty old man! As Bakugo charges forwards, ready to, well, blow up Gokudara. As Gokudara just waits. As soon as he gets close, boom! One giant leg slams down on Bakugo's head, impacting him into the, well, mat. What was that you were saying, you crazy kid? Ow, not fair. No, what's not fair is the fact that you challenged me on my boss's turf. You need to learn when and where to pick your fights. Don't try and pick it in the household of a guy who even I respect. Oh, get off me, you old bastard. This is between me and him. What did you call me, you little shit? Honey, don't hurt him. He's just a child. Remember, temper, temper. Yes, dear. As Mr. Volgana raises his leg and picks Bakugo up by the scruff of his shirt. Listen here, you little boy. As Bakugo brings up his hands for a point-blank range explosion. Boom! Right at his face. You done? What? Boom! As with a large thud, a heavy fist impacts Bakugo right in the solar plexus, quite literally knocking the wind out of his body. As tear and snot begins to roll down Bakugo's face. Don't worry, you're not dead. As he drops him onto the ground. I just knocked the wind out of your sails. And to be fair, you did just try and blow me up. Granted, I felt bigger blasts coming from firecrackers launched at my face. But still, did you honestly think that was a good idea? Alright, I forgot he's gonna be like that for a few minutes. Well, that's whenever our good friend, well, Deku, or as he's known now as Jovo, begins to walk closer to him. Relax, man. As he kinda grabs Bakugo around the waist and holds him up. Okay, easy does it. Easy does it. On your own feet. Water. Easy, easy. As he pinches his nose. Breathe in through the mouth. Breathe in. Exhale through the nose. In through the mouth. Out through the nose. In through the mouth. What? Don't worry, don't worry. Dad held back quite a bit with that punch, so nothing's broken, I believe. Nope, you're just gonna be very sore. Be very glad he was restraining himself. He was restraining himself. Well, let me put it to you like this. You're from Japan, right? Yeah. Well, you see the old man right there? Old. Easy, Dad. You see him? Yeah. He's about on par with power and strength and speed as Endeavor. If I would, and I'd be severely inclined to say that he can outmatch him in quite a few regards. What? He's not even on the hero listings here. No, he's not. Dad likes to keep things like that private. He doesn't like his business being known by everyone and everything. But if I were you, I'd show him the respect he deserves. Because this guy has done more for me than anyone that I have ever known. And if you ever insult him like that again, I'll make sure that whatever punishment he deals out will seem like a cakewalk in comparison. What do you think you can do? Dad? Yes, Jovo? Training room. I need to borrow it. Oh? Yeah. I really need to borrow it. And why is that? This guy just insulted my father and my uncle. And with that, Goku Dara gets a bit of a tear in his eye and a smirk on his face. He goes like, he called me uncle. I'm so happy. I'm not gonna let him get away with it. Jovo, Dad, it's a matter of honor. Please. Fine, don't kill him. I make no promises. Jovo, fine, I'll hold back. Don't you dare. Come at me with everything you have. Alright, give him a show. As well. Jovo smiles wide. Thanks, Pops. I'm going to enjoy this. Let's let him recover for a few minutes, though. He's gonna need to catch his breath again after that solid slingshot punch you did straight into his gut. Slingshot? What can I say? With how fast that thing moves, it's almost as if you pulled back the elastic band of a slingshot and just let it loose, and it just magically traveled to where it needed to go. Blink of an eye, boom, like a slingshot. Izuku, you gotta get better at naming things. I swear. Dad! Izu? Sorry, Jovo. His name is Giorno Volgana. He, let's just put it this way. We nicknamed him a few different things growing up whenever we were in Japan. Reason why he kinda, well, pardon me one moment. The reason he, has a few different nicknames as well as knows Japanese a bit more fluently than most people. I see. Alright. Makes about as much sense as anything else around here. As, well, Bakugo's given him some water by Goku Dara, and he how should I say, wouldn't say unwillingly, but in that standard Bakugo way of whatever, takes it. And that's whenever, well, Jonio, or as we know him, Deku, goes and gets ready. As that point, Gokudara kneels down and starts talking with Bakugo. You are screwed. Whatever. You have no idea how bad of a situation you're in right now. What do you mean? That kid? He's one of the few people in line of the Volgana family. I know you don't know what that means, but let me put it to you like this. He's a progeny, an expert at what he does at this age. If I were you, I wouldn't hold back on him. Go out with as big of a force as you can bring out. Try and hurt him. Try and kill him. You won't succeed. Are you nuts? No, I'm honest. You wanted my honest opinion? Even if you didn't, here it is. You're no match for that kid. Please, why is that? You barely have trained your quirk. You know how to fly with it, yeah. You know how to make random explosions, yeah, but you don't know anything about precision, timing, skill. All you know is how to throw your power around like a petulant child waving around a torch that they just found and made. Except for you, you didn't even make it. Him? He's been training for the last few years on how to master his quirk. He's been training non-stop on how to refine his abilities whenever he wasn't focused on schoolwork or anything else. In addition to that, he never takes them for granted, unlike you petulant child. I don't say your quirk is useless. Your quirk is fantastic, Katsuki. You know this, but it's blinded you. It has hurt you with how flashy and cool it looks because you haven't developed it. And now you're about to get your ass beat by someone who, while they love their quirk, always trained it. So I wish you the best of luck. Please, old man, I'm about to show you how it's done. As Bakugo gets ready and, well, is brought to the training room. Yeah, sure you will. As they get in there, Bakugo sees this massive, well, interior that is reinforced with metal plating along the wall and bright neon lights dangling from overhead, illuminating the entire room as LEDs built into the, well, metal surface begin to light up, shining everything up in a bright fluorescent gaze. Whoa. You got enough protection in here? This is the personal training room of the Volgana family, Gokudara states. It's designed to be able to withstand, well, them. What's so special about them? Let's just put it this way. That man who just barely tapped you, tapped. Yeah, tapped. If he were to go full throttle, the amount of power he possesses in his body is equivalent to that of a hydrogen bomb going off. Except it's on a level that is controlled beyond belief. You don't realize how little he did to you. He barely touched you, and you were like that. Believe me, he can go a lot worse and a lot harder. All he did was a love tap to put you in your place. Whatever. As he sees Izuku, well, my brother should say, as Bakugo looks over and sees the same kid as we know as Izuku, but is currently going by the alias Jonio Volgana, or Jovo. Alright, I'm ready for you. As he begins stretching and twisting and rolling his shoulders. Oh, are you sure about that? Yeah, I am sure about that. You insulted my family. If I were you, I'd recommend getting into one of our training uniforms. Oh, why? Well, aside from the fact that they're very comfortable, they're also fire resistant. And considering the sheer fact that, well, my quirk allows me to utilize fire, yeah, you know, might be a good idea to wear something that won't let you get burned to a crisp. Please, I'm fine the way I am. He looks over to his dad. You heard him, right? Let the fight begin. As, well, Bakugo's first instinct is to let loose explosions behind him to catapult him straight towards Izuku. As Izuku just waits. As soon as he gets close, he ducks down. And Bakugo naturally flies over him. As he spins around in the air and launches an explosion to propel him again towards Izuku. Well, that's when he's caught off guard by several small projectiles of fire shooting towards him. As, well, Jovo's made some finger guns and is just letting loose small bellows of fire bolts straight from his tip, straight from the tips of his fingers towards Bakugo at high speed. As they just go boom, 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 boom. As, while they do feel relatively painful, Bakugo just goes, "Ah, you bastard!" and just goes through the pain. With this, Deku smiles. Oh, you're gonna be fun. This is gonna be wild. As that's whenever the old man goes, oh boy. What? I recognize that look. Jovo's about to let loose. What do you mean? Here's the thing. I don't know whether it's because of growing up he was abused, or whether it's because of my training methods. Maybe a mixture of both. But whenever his heart gets in the battle, well, he makes that same crooked smile. And then, 3, 2, 1, boom! Right as Bakugo gets within range, a loud uppercut impacts his torso, sending him skyward. As, well, Izuku falls to the ground, cups both his hands together, and using the ground as a brace for himself. Eat this! Flashpoint ignition! As from the palms of his cupped hands, two small spheres of fire are made and then expand before they bellow forth a large billowing font of fire and, well, destruction straight towards Bakugo's general direction. Needless to say, at this, Bakugo instantly goes, what the shit? and is just barely able to use his explosions to get out the way. As well, his hair takes the worst of the damage, singeing it fairly badly. What the heck? What the hell, you crazy bastard? You almost killed me. You told me not to hold back. I won't hold back. I won't! As that's when Bakugo begins to realize, oh boy. As Izuku gets into a running start and then lets loose. And in less than an instant, is virtually right on top of him. From 20 feet away, he narrows the distance down using his flames to propel him forward to less than 10 feet, then 5. And before he can even blink, a flurry of blows is landed upon him. Bakugo is being punched and kicked and smashed against the walls and against any surface available by this kid who he barely even knows. This kid who's shorter than him is beating the ever-loving crap out of him, and he is getting annoyed. As this hasn't become a show-off of quirks, this has become a fist fight. And our Izuku's winning. Bakugo tries to counter by throwing a few mistimed punches, but he doesn't know how to fight. Not hand-to-hand, at least. All he knows is how to use his quirk, and even that he doesn't know very proficiently. And Izuku sees this and dissects it. He dissects every single move Bakugo makes and counters. With a left jab, he circles around, hitting him from underneath hitting him right underneath the, armpit. Son of a... As he goes for a right, trying to hook him, trying to swing around and make him stop with that blow. Izuku ducks underneath and brings his hand down right at the location between brings his hand down right on the elbow joint, drastically hurting it as a sickening crack can be heard inside from Bakugo's arm. Ooh, that might be fractured or broken. As Izuku gives him a leg sweep and then brings a small bit of fire, makes a small little flame appear in his hand as he points it straight down towards Bakugo's head. Well, do you concede? Fine, I give. Okay. As, Deku, or as he's known here as Jonio Volgana, begins to happily skip and walk away back into his family. Did you see that, Dad? Did you see that? Yep, I saw everything. You were a bit sloppy. Huh? Really? It took you that many blows to harm him? No, it's just... What? I kinda held back? You held back. Yeah. What have I told you about holding back? Only to do it if the enemy is severely weaker than you? Yes, and to do so in a way that doesn't make it look like you're holding back, so that way his allies don't mistake it as such and underestimate you? And you're gonna punish me now, aren't you? No. You did fairly good, and honestly, it does make me proud that you think of us in such a high regard. So, you'll get ice cream tonight. Yay, ice cream! Because he is still a freshly graduated elementary school student. As Gokudara goes over to, poor Bakugo, and kneels down next to him. Told you. Oh. Here, let me help you. as he scoops him up and brings him to the infirmary. What is this place? Medical facility on, well, on the grounds. This place has a built-in hospital? Essentially, yes. Granted, it is a bit of an insult to call it a hospital. Most of the stuff here is of a higher quality. What? What did I just... The Volganas. What? You were about to ask, what did you just come across? Or, whose house were you involved with? Or, what the hell situation am I in? The Volganas. You see, young Bakugo, there's a small problem. You think that you're the top shit. And the truth, you're the top shit on a very small pile. You let your little bit of power carry away with you. And while it is useful, you let it control you, manipulate you into thinking you're the best. But the thing is, you're not. Not by far. You don't know respect. You don't know how to properly deal with people. But most importantly, you didn't accept advice. And you tried to attack a person who was so much more stronger than you that if you would have done any bit of examining them, you would have found that out. What do you mean? Oh, well, you get to the point. As he proceeds to get some of the burns and everything else doctored up. Have you ever taken a look at Jovial? Sorry. Little Jovo? What do you mean a look? The way he walks. Have you noticed it? What do you mean? He just walks. No. He walks quietly, subdued. He doesn't make his presence known unless he truly wants to. He tries to stay in the background, listening in. However, when he was facing off against you, how did you hear his movements? They were, as he looks back, loud, imposing. It felt as if thunder was happening with every step, right? Yeah. That's how he really is. You see, Jovo is very content at being nice as he begins to give him a small muscle relaxer. Oh, ow, that hurt you, prick. However, just like his father, he is what you would call ruthless when stirred up. When his emotions hit a high enough peak, they won't let him just stand by. Especially when people he loves are brought into it. You did the one thing that is forbidden that every enemy forbids themselves from doing when it comes to the Volgana family. What? You never mess with the Volgana family. How does that make sense? You don't attack someone who's not the head. You want to try and deal with the Volganas, you deal with the head. Or anyone the head deems worthy enough for you to deal with. However, if you want to fight them, then you better fight them respectfully. And deal with whoever comes across you and challenges you with the utmost dignity. Because if you try and ambush, sneak attack, or assassinate, they're more than willing to put you in a pine box. You insulted his father, and attacked him at point blank range. You should be glad he settled for not giving you any permanent scars. My hair! It's not permanent. Your hair will grow back. Now, as I said, just be glad he held back. Because if he hadn't, you would most certainly have been dead. He held back by quite a bit. Remember that blast he did while he was laying on the ground? Yeah. The funny thing is, the way he usually does it is supposed to be at point blank range. What? He'll launch himself towards the opponent, usually at an upward angle, and before he makes contact, he'll cut off his boost from his hands. Swing them around to where the opponent is. Make those two small spheres of fire and blast them at point blank range. Usually sending them, into the dirt. To be honest, it's quite terrifying. Suddenly seeing this random kid appear above you and blast at you. What the hell is this place? We're American. Haven't you ever heard of the mafia? And with that, Bakugo passes out. And I think I'll end it here on my fond fair Rouge Raiders. I hope you enjoy, and leave a comment and such, if you did. Bye for now.